Alright, you guys are on. Introductions, guys.
Hello, this is Mike Uyama. I think you guys already know me, if nothing else as the Uyama Nadi, and I'm the main marathon organizer for SDA.
I was muted. Hey, I'm Breakdown. I write front page updates for the site, help to organize marathons and moderate the forums and all that good stuff.
Hey, I'm Cosmo. I co-founded speedrunslive.com, and I maintain a popular Twitch channel and do other stuff.
I'm PJ. I snuck into the Skype call and they haven't found me out yet.
I'm Sinister1. I play video games and sometimes go to marathons.
I'm romsc, and I'm also a marathon organizer, and we'll be taking over for SGQ.
I am Mr. K, and I speedrun Contra, and I don't take bribes.
What? You don't? Oops.
Good policy.
Is there anyone else?
Uranium?
Uranium, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm here. I'm currently outside walking my dog. Hopefully I don't sound too robotic.
No, not at all. Alright, I guess we'll move on then.
I blame the 4G if I do sound robotic.
Yeah, and for those expecting Dram 55, he had to drop out for personal reasons. Quote, life happened, to quote him directly. So, sorry. But got the rest of us. And yeah, SDA Roundtable, here to talk about features, issues, and things of that nature affecting the site and the speedrunning community as a whole. So here we are, getting started with new site features apparently. So, anybody want to jump in, or should I take that?
You can jump in.
All right then. Well, definitely probably the biggest new feature SDA has to boast about currently is the new queue system. We've been using it in varying degrees for close to a year now. We've been up on it. But it means a lot of things on the back end as well as the front end for all of you guys out there. Really, like, talk about the back end stuff a little bit. Is basically the entire site process is getting more and more automated. New features being added all the time. UA will probably go into more detail about this when he's done walking his dog. But let's see. But in terms of things that all of you can use, verification's easier to sign up for. You don't have to, PM Flip or Poexel and wait for a response. There's a link right in the verification thread for just easy. I'm gonna go say you want to verify this run. You can just click that link, sign up to verify right away. Let's see. You get verification reminders in case it's like, oh, the run's available and you missed the PM or whatever. It's the queue will tell you, which is handy. You got the My Runs page for submissions. You can follow them easily, see where they're at in the process, find out if it's being held up because of something you did or something that's just, being held up. You can see where it's at. Submissions are easier. We have a new submission form. Pretty much it's just, you fill out, you can just submit your comments and all that good stuff just through the queue system. We also have a new uploading system being referred to in the back as the upload wizard, but torrents, you don't need those anymore. You can just upload files. So it makes the whole submission process that much more easier and streamlined than it has been in the past. On back to the subject of verification, we do also have, since the last roundtable, one of the things that came out of that was public verification. Runs that don't get the 3 or 4 requisite volunteers for people to watch over, and we're posting for public viewing and discussion as to whether they get on the site or not. So verification hell is not nearly as real a thing as it used to be. And we are in the process of a full-scale rules rewrite just to like make everything stated plainer. Like we're really close to posting it. We actually wanted to hold off until after this today because there's some things we're going to be talking about later that might edit what we have currently a little bit, but it's really close to being rolled out. And yeah, should just make what an SDA quality video, like the definition of it, that much clearer. So. And yeah, that's about all I got there. So.
All right. So something that's probably on people's minds is when is the site redesign? We've been discussing this a bit, and basically what the current plan is that we're going to do a front page and rules and FAQ page redesign, and then after that we'll do the game pages sometime later on in the future. The reason for that is because there's a lot of database work we have to do for the game pages, because as some of you might know, there's static HTML for the game pages, so we have to fix that. And so for the front page, you can probably expect that in a couple of months when we have SGDQ coming up. But for the game pages, that's a much longer term project, and we're planning on crowdsourcing the database for the game pages so that the process goes more quickly.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of the numbers we're talking about, there's something like, I want to say 700 or 800 different game pages right now. Might be way more than that, but there's only about 200 or 300 games in the database. So there's still a lot of stuff that has not been migrated yet, and that's going to take a while. So.
Yep, 917 is a big number. Definitely bigger than 200 or 300. So there's definitely been talk recently of rolling out a new front page design prior to all that back end work being done, though, at least the game page work. Because let's face it, the front page looks like, baby's first HTML from back in like, 96, something like that. So
no denying that.
Could use a facelift, definitely. Make things easier to find. Like, common complaint is the marathon videos are kind of buried. The marathon having its own site now makes that significantly easier to track down, but at the same time, we don't even link to the marathon site off the front page unless there's a marathon banner on it. So, yeah, there's definitely streamlining of the front page to do, better organizing of information, and some other new features that we want to roll out. Like there's a strategy wiki that we'll also be talking about later. We definitely want to highlight that more. More stream implementation. Like Woody's awesome. Woody's great. Big thanks to BMN for giving us Woody, but we can do more. And yeah, just make it overall look nicer, cleaner. I guess the one advantage it does have is it displays perfectly on every browser ever created. That is the one decided plus to the current layout, but that's not enough reason to not move forward, if you ask me.
So I don't know if anybody else just got dropped from the call, but I heard about 30 seconds of silence just now.
I was okay.
Yeah, that was fine.
That was just you, buddy.
Okay, that was it.
All right.
Yeah, so what you see there is Cool Maddie's mock-up of what he wants to do with the front page.
Huh.
Sorry, scroll wheel on XSplit does that. Sorry.
Yes, our new screen page is a white screen, much cleaner than had previously.
You can just imagine
possibilities.
Exactly.
Oh, I see the first change. We're going to feature highlight on the front page.
So this is just an example, of course, of what the new design will probably look like. This was just thrown together, but we'll be expanding upon that in the future.
How does the streaming now thing at the top work?
If there was
Does
a
that
stream
randomly pick from the team page, or is it the top streamer?
it will be using the team page, but obviously that's not all defined yet. Right now that's hard coded because I just wanted something up there, and I had
see.
to make a bro fist. But but yeah, that'll eventually be scripted. And we can use whatever method we feel like to just determine who gets up there.
In terms of other things that we're going to be working on, is that we're going to be working out some new rules for PC games to accommodate for things such as force patching that has come up with PC games lately, and virtualization software like DOSBox and Virtual PC, because it's getting harder and harder to play, older games on their original hardware, and we want to accommodate for that rather than just reject those games.
So what's the plan for the game page redesign?
We're actually going to discuss that this Saturday. We're going to be meeting this Saturday. So, two things I do know is that we want to link back to the knowledge base pages, so that that's more of a complete part of the site. And Mr. K will be talking about that pretty soon. And the other thing is that we want like contact cards for runners, so we can link to their Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever they want.
Okay.
On the game page for when they submit runs.
Will there be a way to, like, say you click on the runner's name on the game page or something, it would bring up like a profile or something other, and have a list of all the runs that they have on SDA and YouTube page and Twitter and stream and all that?
That's more or less what I was picturing, yeah.
Okay. Because I know something that's been asked about for at least all of the years that I've been here is a way to search by runner to see what runs everybody has, and there's no way to do that right now.
Yeah, well, that'll kind of come for free once
ahead.
we get everything migrated to the database.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so speaking of the new wiki project, I think Mr. K, I'll hand this over to you because the wiki project is more your deal.
Okay, sure, yeah. So, I kind of dabble in a lot of different things. Besides speedrunning, I'm also casually interested in doing tool-assisted speedruns. And usually when I approach a game, the first thing that I do is I try to figure out who's already done a speedrun of this, how do the mechanics work, what are all the tricks for it. And these past few years, what I've noticed is that it's really, really, really chaotic. So, for example, one thing I noticed is that when I had a casual interest in Zelda back in the day, and I remember that the Twilight Princess thread on SDA was the single most massive, intimidating thing that I have ever seen. And anytime someone would post or ask about something, it would be like, the answer is in the thread, go find it. And I'm just like...
Yeah, there's only like 800 pages. It's not that hard.
It's just atrocious. And I've seen a few attempts to try to deal with it. So usually when I wanted to find out what the mechanics were for a game, I would go to task videos, because they usually do retro games. And so task videos would have like their game resources page, and I was like, cool, okay, this is a place where I'm going to find everything I want. And then that page would get updated once, and then never again. And someone would make a new task, and then it would introduce like, oh, I saved this much time by doing this new trick.
Yeah, those notes suck. It's always just, well, this is how the time was saved. Go back 8 more submissions to find the original method.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah, or it's like, I use this trick, and I'm like, wait, what trick is this? And so I'd have to go back like 2 or 3 more submissions, and it was just bad. So pretty much there's 3 different systems going. There's the community system where like you get a bunch of runners together, they've kind of got their own IRC channel, And between all of them, they know everything. But to find out what they know, if you're new, you have to, join the IRC community and be like that awkward person that just stumbles in there and asks a question like, "Hey guys, can you answer this for me?" There's SDA forum where the answers are going to get pushed further and further back based on when someone posts something, and then someone posts, "I got this time," and then people congratulate them, and then the actual information just gets pushed down. Then there's the task videos method where you've got game resources, but then stuff's in mechanics. So long story short, everything is not what it needs to be. So I figure the way to get things going is the knowledge base. And the way that the knowledge base works is every community is going to, well, this is my hope anyway, every community is going to come together and the knowledgeable people are going to put what they know about the game into the knowledge base. So the idea is that it only takes a little bit of practice to get the formatting. I'll be making a video on how to do it. But once you kind of get used to the sectional formatting, it's not terrible. You don't have to be perfect, but get the information in there. I'll even clean it up for you, but get the information in there. The way that we're doing the formatting is that we want to keep things as simple and easy to follow as possible. So really, there's going to be a game page, and it's going to say, what the game is, what the categories are, and then it's going to split off. So everything is nice and organized. So you've got the game page, and then you've got each category for a particular run has its own page. And then as like a side page, there's like an explanation for the mechanics, glitches, and depending on how much detail you want to go with the mechanics, there can also be subpages. But the reason why I did it this way is so that we don't have everything on one massive page, because that just becomes impossible to read. And the other benefit of that is when you're talking about a route, what you can do is you can be like, I'm not going to explain this. You can just link to the trick in the mechanics page. So you don't have to explain yourself in great detail all the time when you're talking about a route. So far, we've got, I've done Contra 4, Kirby Master has done quite a few games. He's done Metroid Prime and Fusion, and they're starting to shape up and look really great. And I found that once we get everything in this nice format, it's something that everyone can use. If we get the more people we have doing this, the bigger it's going to be. So if we can get all of you, get the entire speedrunning community in on this, then every single community can come in and chip in. So I don't want it to be like, oh, this is just SDA's knowledge base. I want it to be like, this is the speedrunning knowledge base, because whether you want to do a run for SDA, whether you just want to get familiar with the game because you just want to race it on SRL, or whether you're a taster and you just kind of want to figure out how a game works, this can be your one-stop resource for everything.
So, related to that, if there's lots of games already, really popular games that already have wikis that are fully functional and set up for that, how do you want to deal with those in relation to the knowledge base? Like, do you want them to just convert over to it, or just link to the other wiki, or what?
Yeah, great question, Rom. The way that it's set up right now, what we've decided is that if you already have a wiki and it's legit, so like the Super Mario World wiki is really good. It has videos for every single route, for every category I've seen for every stage, which is extremely detailed. And so the last thing that I want to do is I don't want to be like, oh, you've got to convert everything into this new format, blah, blah, blah. So when you've got all that needs to happen is just let me know when you've got a self-sustaining wiki that your game's community maintains, and if you show me the wiki and it's legit, it's helpful, I'll say cool. And what I'll do is I'll take the SDA KB link for that game, and I'll just say, here, link it over. So the Super Mario World KB page and SDA's knowledge base will just link over to the Super Mario World wiki that's already in place. So that's what I want to do for existing wikis, so I don't want to duplicate our efforts in formatting stuff over. If you haven't made a wiki yet, though, I would strongly encourage you to make it in the SDA wiki, in the SDA knowledge base, so we get everyone on the same page. But yeah, I'm totally not endorsing everyone duplicating their efforts, but for new pages, I feel like MediaWiki is better than it seems. So if you're going to make something new, do it in here, because that way you don't have to worry about hosting, and you can use some of the tutorials that I'll be making to put in some new stuff, so it'll be a lot easier on you than, dealing with web hosting and stuff like that.
The other thing is that Mr. K and the crew are also working on recording guides, so that a common complaint is people don't know how to record for SDA, or the information's hidden somewhere. We're trying to put that on the knowledge base so that people know what good devices are, what good capture cards are, best ways to capture, and they're doing a really good job so far. So
yeah, the recording page. So the first thing that I did was I just completely overhauled the main knowledge base page. So instead of having 40 links, it now just has 6. And I've tried to organize it as best I can, but if anyone has any suggestions, I am more than welcome to hearing it. Please don't hesitate to send me a PM either on Twitch or on SDA if you've got a forum account. I totally take suggestions. I love them. And the thing that I've noticed is that I don't always know exactly what the formatting should be until I try and make it. And sometimes having another set of eyes on something is really what I need. So another question, so this just came from Duckfist, as far as like embedding videos on the knowledge base pages. At the particular moment, you can't embed videos. We're working on that. It's kind of like a security thing with MediaWiki, so we'll be coming back to that later, but for the time being, you'll just have to live without those links. It is something that can be done, but it's just disabled for a security feature for the time being, but we are figuring that out. The way that it is now is not necessarily the way it's going to be. Back to the recording pages, I know that a lot of speedrunning is not the least expensive hobby, and we're trying to make the recording simple and fluid and make sense and let people know exactly what they need to get to record their speedruns. So, like, I was totally that guy, and I wanted to record Super Nintendo, and I totally got, the expensive Blackmagic Intensity Pro HD capture card, and I totally realized it couldn't record Super Nintendo or Nintendo footage, and I was really, really sad. And so, I don't want anyone else to get in that situation and make that same mistake. So, what we're trying to do is take everyone's collective misery from finding out what doesn't work and why, and including that in there. Or, other examples of like Dazzle not always recording, not always capturing audio, and some of the alternatives to Dazzle. Just all kinds of stuff like that needs to be in there. I've done, just about every Nintendo console is done, and Greenlink and some other people have done Genesis, Mega Drive, and we still need people. We've still got PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and of course PS4 and other stuff's coming up, so... But we're going to take everything that we need, and we're going to make it nice, intelligently organized, and the other thing is that we need to get... The thing that we still need to get is we still need to get everyone's input on some of the different capture devices. I mean, there's some iconic ones that everybody knows, like Dazzle, but there's other stuff too. There's a lot of other standard capture devices. There's Diamond, there's Encore, there's a lot of other devices that people can use that may be cheaper. There's also a lot of HD stuff as well. And we want everyone who has bought anything to capture a run to be able to put it in there, because no person that I know has the money to burn to test all these capture devices, so we'd rather just everybody put in, this is your capture device, these are the specs, this is what it works on, and boom, there we go. So I would like to get everyone to put in their input as well. If we get the knowledge base, and this is kind of why I say I want to build up momentum, the more good stuff that's in there, the more people will want to contribute to it. So if it becomes a resource for SDA and SRL and task videos, then lots of people are going to be using it, and it's going to work out really nicely. Some of the other plans that I'd like to have for the knowledge base, when we move over SDA videos into the new database, we want to have game pages on SDA linked to the knowledge base pages. And really the idea of that is you've done a speedrun, you're pretty proud of it, you put a lot of work into it, people like to watch it. One thing that we found, oh, and by the way, if you have not, OmniGamer just posted a link in the chat to the capture device compendium. If you have not looked at that thread before, do it right now, because that's the tentative place where we're storing all of that information. If your capture card is not in there, we'd really appreciate it if you put that information in there. Back to what I was rambling on about. So for game pages, so the idea is that you do a speed run for SDA, you submit, it gets accepted, and people go and they look at it. What we found watching marathons is that a lot of more people are interested. Like the people who watch speedruns, some of them just kind of say, oh, you beat it so fast, but a lot of people are legitimately interested in the mechanics, the work that goes behind a speedrun. And yes, we have run comments, but a lot of people actually, may want to go in a little bit deeper. Some people even may want to contribute to the speedrun process themselves. So the SDA game page is eventually going to link to the strategy wiki page. And I don't want to steal Cosmo's thunder at all, but perhaps maybe down the road, if SRL does the whole leaderboard thing, if we build up the knowledge base enough, SRL leaderboard pages can link to KB pages if they're built up enough as a resource. I feel like, does anyone have any questions on the KB side of things?
I do, actually. In regards to editing permissions, like obviously this is something that you want to be as inclusive as possible, but at the same time you want the information, the good information you have up there, to be protected. Like you don't want somebody like going onto the contra page, wiping everything out and say put in the code, duh, or something like that for the speedrunning strats. So like what kind of like security and permission things are there in place?
Good question. Yeah, at the particular moment, what you need to have is you need to have an SDA form account. Currently, if you have an SDA form account, then you can pretty much sign into the wiki. We do have version control, and with administrator privileges, I can actually go in and I can see a list of recent changes. And we've already had like a loose cannon person go in and like change up the contra page. And because of the version control that I have, if something like that does happen, we keep the Media Wiki admin keeps track of history for each page. And so if someone burns somebody else's hard work, we can just roll it back just like that. So we do have the ability to ban someone from editing wiki pages. If need be, we can also block people at the form level, but for the most part, the controls are pretty good, so it's not too tight. You just need to have an SDA form account, which a lot of people have, and from there you can just get tied into the wiki. And pretty much our philosophy is that if you're not abusing the system and you're knowledgeable about the game, then you can go in and you can edit what you need to. If there's problems, like if there's a particular individual who's, messing around, then we can block that person from being able to edit pages in the wiki. And if we see a lot of edits to a particular page that we don't want edited, I can also protect a page. So if the community for a game has like polished it up really well, and they can just tell me like, hey, I don't want this page being messed with, I can put a block on the page that prevents edits, depending on how crazy it gets. I'm hoping it should be pretty smooth process, but we can establish